right now. It is President Trump walking alongside UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Let's listen into what they have to say here on Live Now from Fox.
Okay, thank you very much. We all know the great Prime Minister of the UK, and we just signed a document. This is, sorry about that. This is it.
A very important document.
Little windy out here. Give me that. We just signed it, and it's done. And so we have our trade agreement with the European Union, and it's a fair deal for both. Going to produce a lot of jobs, a lot of income. And we have many other ones coming, but you see the level of enthusiasm is very good. But the relationship that we have is fantastic. So I just want to congratulate you.
Donald, thank you very much. This now implements on car tariffs and aerospace, our really important agreement. And so this is a very good day for both of our countries, a real sign of strength. So thank you again, Donald. A really important day for both of us.
Great people. Great people.
Trump just keeps on winning and winning and winning. So before we get into this, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share this channel. And also leave a comment below. I'll be more than happy to respond. So once again, please like, subscribe, and share this channel. So yesterday I was debating a guy named Isaiah Martin. Isaiah Martin is a political figure from Houston, Texas, and I believe he's currently running for Congress in Texas' 18th congressional district. He previously served as a senior advisor to the late Representative Sheila Jackson. And Sheila Jackson, I wonder if he's the guy that Sheila Jackson was cursing out one time on a recording. Sheila Jackson Lee, I might say. He's been active in the Democratic politics, and he's been advocating for bold leadership and progressive change. So he sounds more like a socialist to me than anything. And, you know, mostly his campaign emphasizes like fighting back against policies he believes harm vulnerable communities. And when I say he's talking about fighting back in policies, he's probably talking about conservative policies, which actually I feel is more uplifting than liberal policies, since liberal policies have helped destroy especially black communities and other sorts of communities. But me and Mr. Isaiah Martin was having a discussion about, the tariffs. And, he said that, Trump doing this tariff is hurting America and so forth. And I stated that, we're in a trade deficit and we want to at least be in a trade surplus or be even with what's called a fair trade, so that way we're not spending more, spending more than we're getting back. So when we have a trade deficit, it means that we're taking in more products. That means we're paying, more tariffs than the other countries that we have trade agreements with. They don't take anything from us, so they don't have to pay as much as we have to pay them. So that leaves us in a trade deficit. However, President Trump came in and he said he was going to raise tariffs on everybody until an agreement can be reached. And I do know they've been working with countries, and right now I can legitimately say that the United States and the United Kingdom has finalized a trade agreement which lowers tariffs on certain goods while maintaining quotas on others. So some key points to this agreement, and let me read some of this here. Some key points will be automobile tariffs. So the British car manufacturers can export up to 100,000 vehicles annually to the U.S. at a 10% tariff. while additional vehicles will face a 25% tariff. And that's probably going to be the same with America now, sending off as many vehicles, because we can't send no vehicles to the UK at all. So that's going to probably change, where now America can send automobiles up to probably 100,000 or so to the UK, start off at 10%, and others probably more. Aerospace industry. So tariffs on UK aerospace products, including aircraft and components, have been removed. That's a good thing for like Boeing and all these others. So that way, Boeing don't make their, like, they have places like in the state of Washington, South Carolina, where they build planes, but it's like parts and so forth. They receive parts from other parts of the world, and it all gets shipped to the U.S., where then they'll put it together. So that would be good, so that the products and so forth on aircraft parts and components tariffs will be removed off of that. That's going to help. That's going to reduce prices and so forth. Steel and aluminum. Now there's still some bits and pieces they got to work with, but the U.S. will exempt British metal imports from the current 25% tariff under a quota system. But like I said, there's some final terms that got to be worked out. Agriculture. The agreement expands U.S. market access in the UK, creating a $5 billion opportunity for American exports, including beef and ethanol. Now that's a huge plus for America, because we have our farmers here, and we cannot export our products to them because they say we use this and that, and they're always shutting us down, while their agricultural products are come to America. We take it in, and so that's what causes like that trade deficit. So this is huge for America, and I think this is a great move. Pharmaceuticals. So the two countries are working on securing preferential outcomes for the UK pharmaceutical sector. I'm not sure what they're really talking about, and I'm hoping to learn more about that. But so far, it sounds like we're on the right track with the UK. And so far, from what I'm hearing, there's an agreement with China. Now, it's probably some work that still has to be done with China, but so far, from what I'm hearing, the Chinese official, they're saying that they have reached an agreement with America in London. So let's take a look at that.
The U.S. and China signaling success at this point after 2 days of high-level trade talks in London. Officials from both countries said they agreed on a framework to get a truce reached, what we saw last month come out of Geneva, to get that back on track. Commerce Secretary Lutnick telling reporters that the deal would remove restrictions on some Chinese exports of rare earth minerals, as well as some recent U.S. export restrictions on some high-tech stuff. But we haven't heard further details yet. The deal will await final approval from President Trump and President Xi.
So this is how the trade, so this is how the tariffs work, what I believe how the tariffs work. I believe that in order to negotiate, you have to set a certain percentage on tariffs on goods and services coming into this country. And you have to set it to a point whereby the other country can now realize that we need to come to some type of agreement. Because remember, America are the ones we consume a lot. And so we are the place where people want to trade. So if you're having a trade deficit with a country like UK or China, something like that, and you're taking in more than they're taking from you, then you have to negotiate. Now, if they don't want to play ball, then you can say, well, we're just not going to trade with you, and we'll just buy products. We'll trade with somebody else, or we'll just by American-made products, because American-made products is just as good as anywhere else. It's just that most of the time, imports, they can be a little, they always say that they're a little bit cheaper, I guess, because of the products that they use and all the materials and things like that. But I think when I was debating with a guy named Isaiah Martin, he was saying that he was using a scenario like if you go to Wawa or somewhere like that, and when you purchase something, you're already in a deficit. And I believe that's apples to oranges. First of all, when you go to a store to purchase something, you're looking for discounts, sales, and things like that. So if something costs $5, you're looking to see if there's a sale, if they have a promotion, you want to bring it down as much as possible. Okay. You're not expecting the store. The store is selling you goods or services, whatever it is. I'm paying for it. This is trade. The trade is only me giving you money and I'm taking whatever it is that you're giving me. When it comes to countries trading with other countries, I'm taking whatever you have, but also I have to make money. So I'm going to sell you. I'm going to trade with you the stuff that we have. When it doesn't work out where I'm taking it more and you're taking less, then there's a trade deficit, and then we have a problem. And so I feel like Isaiah Martin, which he's a smart guy, but I think on the tariff part, I think he got it wrong, because I believe that he feels like countries don't want to take any of our stuff. What are you going to do? Well, you have to negotiate, because you're losing, and that's going to cause your country to go in a different direction, especially when you want GDP growth and things like that. You're not going to get it if you're trading with another country and you're still in a deficit, because you're spending more and you're not able to get your products out. So that's why this was a smart move by the president to start these tariffs, because the tariffs are actually, when he raised the tariffs, he was actually beginning the stage for negotiation. He had to, because if he would have left it the way it is and said, okay, let's negotiate, these countries would have said, we like it just the way it is. But because he raised the tariffs, and then the other countries tried, but China tried it, but they have to come to an agreement, because the housing bubble in China, that was a total disaster. Okay. Those homes are built out there and nobody's living in it. They built it, now they're not making any income from that, no revenue at all. And then you have the products, because of the high tariffs, that they cannot, there's stuff that's still sitting there in China waiting to come over at the time because of the high tariffs. So if in a communist country, the people there don't care about anything, they want to make money. And if the leader of the Communist Party cannot support their people so that they can make money, there's going to be a problem. If those business can't make money, then he has a problem. And those people, I don't care what military control the communists have, those people are going to be pissed off. So Xi knows this. And so this is why there had to be a deal made, because China, they're noticing that their GDP isn't growing as fast as they would like it. And because America is their bread and butter, because we purchase a hell of a lot of goods from China. So China would be stupid to lose us, because we bring in about 35% of Chinese goods. That is huge compared to any other country. So China don't want to, and we're the highest. No other country can do that for China. So China wants to keep America. So this is why when I listen to people say, oh, this and that, I say, think again, just because China cannot win. America has that edge on them, and it's the 35%. Okay. So this is why like I said, Isaiah Martin, very smart guy, but I think he was wrong on the whole thing, because if If these countries says, no, we don't want to cut a deal, then we say, okay, then, well, we're just not going to do business with you anymore. We'll deal with somebody else, or we'll just do right here in America. And China cannot afford that. If China lose America, they're going down. And so we had to play hardball. And I think Trump is winning. This is why I say Trump just continues winning, winning, and winning.
I know that you may want to believe that Trump is crashing the stock market as well as the economy, but guess what? He's actually resetting it. And although the elites may be panicking, the middle class might as well get prepared, because we are about to experience one of the biggest wealth transfers that we have ever seen before. What Donald Trump is doing is something that none of us have ever seen before. And the reason for that is because this man is creating history. America is about to officially be back on the map as one of the wealthiest countries. We are about to bring manufacturing back to America again. We are about to bring so many jobs back to America again. Do y'all realize what this means? The fact that the American people have been taken advantage of for so long and no one has ever fought for us is absolutely diabolical to me. I know that many people may not agree with what it is that Donald Trump is doing, but all I gotta say is welcome to the Great Reset. America is definitely on its way to being great again. He did his big one with this one, y'all. I don't care what y'all say.
So I just want to make sure you guys understand clearly that he's not really removing tariffs. He will reduce it. There might be some products that will have no tariffs on it, through probably some type of reciprocal trade or something, but there's not going to be really any, reduction on, like, elimination of tariffs completely. You have to have some type of tariff on it, because for the main simple fact is you got to bring in some revenue. So I want to go over some of the benefits for having for Trump doing this tariff war with other countries. Number one, protecting domestic industries. So these tariffs can shield American manufacturers from foreign competition, allowing local businesses to thrive and maintain jobs. That's very important, because remember, a lot of jobs were going overseas and so forth, and local businesses was losing to the big box stores, because they buy their stuff in bulks and they get it from China and so forth, which is hurting your local business and the smaller companies. So this is a good move. Number two, encouraging domestic production. So higher costs on imports can incentivize companies to produce goods within the U.S., reducing reliance on foreign supply chains. So in reality, we're not going to really lose foreign supply chains because of these agreements. But what it can do is help, because there will be some tariffs on products. So the price is not going to go extremely high, but it's going to be whereby American companies can now create products and be more competitive with their price plan. So that way more people can now purchase American-made goods. Number three, negotiation leverage. Tariffs can serve as a bargaining tool in trade negotiations, pressuring other nations to agree to more favorable trade terms. So this is what I was telling Isaiah Martin, and I probably did not say it in a more sensible way, but I was trying to explain to him that tariffs are needed, because if you want to have, more favorable trade terms, you have to negotiate. So when you start the tariffs, you're going to start the numbers at a higher level. So that way, the companies can now come in and they'll say, okay, let's go to the negotiation table and let's come to an agreement. So that's why I thought that when Trump did his tariffs move, I thought it was a great move, and a great move for America. Number four, national security considerations. So some tariffs are imposed to protect industries critical to national security, ensuring that essential goods like steel and semiconductors remain domestically produced. So That's a tough one because you do want your semiconductors and still domestically produced. However, most of our semiconductors they're used by minerals and so forth. So you have, and in this country, we don't have that type of supply like Ukraine and China have with certain minerals, and so in that country. So we wanna keep those doors open because we need those minerals if we want to create semiconductors and chips and so forth to keep computers and other things going. As far as steel, I guess when you have a reciprocal deal, so the amount of steel and aluminum that we take from countries, we can now send to other countries also our steel and aluminum. So that once again, I think it's a good deal. I need to learn more about the national security considerations, but it sounds like it's a smart move for us, and still keeping those doors open for those minerals that America needs. And last but not least, number 5, revenue generator. So tariffs provide a source of government revenue which can be used for infrastructure, social programs, or reducing deficits. So the reason why Trump will not eliminate tariffs, but he'll reduce it, but he's not going to eliminate it, is because he made some promises in his BBB, Big Beautiful Bill, where there's going to be no tax on tips and no tax on Social Security, and probably one of the largest tax cuts in American history. Where's he going to get the money for all of that? It's going to be from the revenue from tariffs. Because now America, with these agreements, America can now ship more things to other countries. Before we couldn't do that. That's why we were in a trade deficit. But now that we would be able to ship more products, more goods, and more services and so forth to other countries, the tariffs are going to help to fill the spots where Trump wants to eliminate certain things. So by us not getting revenue from the taxes on tips and those Social Security checks, which are not going to be taxed, the revenue from the tariffs will help cover those costs. So once again, why he will not eliminate tariffs, he's going to reduce it, and some products will probably get a little higher, but those are the numbers you have to reach, and they have to crunch those numbers to make sure that if his big beautiful bill is going to make it, he has to make sure that he's getting revenue from these other countries. And as you can see, the UK and China and the US have come to some type of framework or towards a trade agreement. So this is good news, and especially with two countries that we definitely do trades with. This is basically going to bring America back from the brink of destruction. So kudos to President Trump, and I just hope that we continue seeing nothing but success.
Yep, the media lied to you about the Trump tariffs, and he hit back with 3 major wins. We just got 3 big pieces of data that show that the tariffs actually had a positive impact on the United States. And we're going to talk about these 3 big wins and how they're positively impacting the United States. But before we do, make sure you share this video with people who need to hear the truth. The first big win is that although we keep hearing that the tariffs are going to raise the cost of, everything, they only went to 2.4%, which is 0.1% more than last month. And you can see CNBC even said the same thing. They said this is less than what we expected. And then they go on to say that tariff-driven price increases may not feed through to the CPI data for a few more months yet. It's far too premature to assume that the price shock will not materialize. So we've had 3 straight months with inflation being at or below expectation, and the media just keeps saying, don't worry, you're going to see it. I'll keep reporting, I'll keep waiting, but I ain't seeing it. Now the second win comes in the form of tariff revenue. The U.S. collected a record $22.3 billion worth of tariff revenue in May. And what we kept being sold is how the tariffs were going to strain the relationships between the United States and its allies. But the United States keeps making trade deals with its allies, so we're getting record tariff revenue and good for America trade deals. So the media is 0 for 2 so far. And lastly, the only thing that we heard since he was talking about tariffs is how his tariffs were going to make one of the worst stock market crashes in history. But this is the S&P 500 that shows that over the past 3 months that the tariffs were actually in place, the stock market gained 5.1%. So I've been hearing is fear and how this isn't going to turn out well for you and prepare for a recession and all of this nonsense. But that's simply not true, which is why I've been telling people that follow this page and are in the community, don't listen to the noise, just buy the dip. Because boy, have we done well buying the dip.
Yeah, so this should be a day of celebration. We're closing deals. America is going to move from being looked at as losing currency of the world to remaining currency of the world and being the strongest in the world, because we're going to be leading not just military wise, but also as far as growth, economics, and people are really going to want to come here. So this is great news. I'm really happy for what President Trump is doing for America, because this is America coming back from the brink of death, and we're coming back strong. And I just see nothing but good things. And I keep telling people just please sit back and watch us win, because President Trump is going to win. With China and UK in the bag, and Canada saying that in less than 30 days they'll have a deal with America, there's no looking back. We are winning. So sit back, get your popcorn, and enjoy the ride. This is Mark once again. Hey guys, enjoy the evening. I'm glad I was able to get another video out. Once again, we're going to keep bringing in more, and hopefully we'll get more followers. Please remember, like, subscribe, and share this video. And please leave a comment. If you disagree with me, let's go ahead and have that discussion. Guys, have a great evening. Peace.